Hello, fellow creative freelancers and solopreneurs. How are you doing? We are in some very interesting times right now, and I know that a lot of people are experiencing fear and anxiety around money and cash flow. A lot of us who are self-employed see an immediate downturn in our income as a result of the social distancing impositions, of closing down a lot of the places and spaces that we would do business in, or impacting our clients and having their revenue and ability to spend with us impacted. So in my Facebook group for the business of creativity, I did a poll about what do people need the most right now to support them, and the answer was immediate cash flow solutions. Hi, my name is Aura McKay. I am the founder of Business of Creativity, and I have had a 20-year career as a creative entrepreneur. I started my own journey as a professional photographer in 2000, and it was right around the time where digital technology started coming into the marketplace in a big way. And we started to see the sort of barriers to entry in becoming a professional photographer melt away, and more people were DIYing, they were making images themselves, the perception of value, all of these things were impacting us as photographers, and we had to find a way to respond, adjust, and reposition ourselves to this new economy and this new marketplace. And then again, in 2008, we had a major recession in North America, and it impacted a lot of photographers, myself included. And that was my big wake-up call to stop the process of winging it when it comes to my finances and when it comes to planning my business. 2008 was the time where I decided to buckle down and to start treating my business like a business and to make a plan and a strategy. And I'll tell you again, without that plan, without that strategy, I wouldn't have been able to navigate my way out of the 2008 recession. So right now, we're just barely at the beginning to see what some of the economic impacts of the coronavirus and the isolation and the shutdown of businesses, travel, and all that kind of stuff is going to be. And for a lot of us who are creative freelancers and solopreneurs, self-distancing or self-isolation and social distancing isn't really new. We spend so much time alone anyways that we are often a victim of our own thoughts. So before I can give you solutions, and I promise I do have some real practical cash flow solutions for you, I want to let you know that if you are in this moment feeling afraid or having an experience of anxiety or really truly stressed out, that is a very difficult place to be in for a lot of reasons. Emotionally, it's challenging. Physically, it can be draining. But mentally, it can actually be an impairment to feel anxious, to feel afraid, or to have a high level of stress. So we're all going to deal with this differently. There isn't a right way or wrong way to deal with it. My advice or my suggestion, my encouragement for you is to do what you can to reduce or eliminate that fear and anxiety. And I have some ideas and suggestions. If you want some of those, DM me. I'm happy to give you those. And I am working on another tool that's going to give you some ideas for that. But the first thing is to create a mindset or a condition that is going to allow you to see possibilities and see opportunities so that you are able to implement some of the cash flow solution ideas that I have. So first things first, you want to do what you can to reduce or eliminate fear, anxiety, and stress so that your brain, your amygdala is no longer hijacking you and you are ready to start looking at what can you control, what can you do right now, because there's a lot of pieces that we're waiting for. We don't have a ton of answers from our governments in terms of what are they going to do to support us. We do have, however, some things that we have immediate control over. And when I talk about cash flow, a lot of us begin by thinking about income coming in. How am I going to make money? How am I going to get income coming in? Often though, where we can make the biggest, most immediate difference is to look at what are we spending on? Where is our cash flow going? A lot of times, especially if you've been in business for a while, you probably have a bunch of subscriptions to apps or membership sites or tools that you don't really use or need. So my first practical suggestion for an immediate cash flow solution is to do an audit of your expenses. So yeah, I know bookkeeping and accounting isn't necessarily our strong suits as creative freelancers, but this is a great time. Even though the Canadian government for sure has delayed when you have to pay your taxes, I highly recommend filing your taxes on time for a couple of reasons. One, doing your bookkeeping and getting your taxes ready is the perfect preparation for being able to do an inventory of your expenses and really see what have you been spending your money on. One of my clients found that he had two identical Adobe subscriptions. So he was paying Adobe twice and he didn't really need to, just because he had used two different email accounts. So right away, you can start to reduce your expenses by doing an inventory of your cash flow. The second reason why it's a great idea to file your taxes, I know, nobody really usually says great idea and taxes at the same breath, but it's a great idea to file your taxes because the your tax return is how the government is going to decide what kind of support or business, I'm going to start again with that word. Your tax return is the tool that our government uses to decide how much of any kind of support or relief you are entitled to. They base it on what is your tax return, what is your income earned in 2019 and 2018. I think they go back 2 years. So for sure, get on that and file your tax return, because that will be a very valuable piece of data to use as leverage in the future. But for right now, the audit of your expenses is going to make a big deal. When you do that audit, the second thing to do is, of course, cancel stuff that isn't something that you need, the nice to have stuff. And gang, that's very personal. Each of us is going to decide on our own circumstances what kinds of things matter to us or don't. Personally, right now, I am not canceling Netflix. That is a necessity right now. But for some, they would look at their Spotify membership and think, okay, I can't deal without Spotify membership. For me, that wasn't as important to me, and I could let that one go. A lot of vendors and suppliers are doing a pause or some kind of relief or support for their clients and customers. So once you've done that inventory of your expenses, look at some of your bigger expenses. Look at some of the ones that are kind of adding up over time and see if it might be an opportunity for your suppliers to give you some relief or support. So specifically and notably, Adobe is giving people 2 months to 3 months, depending on the way you navigate your way through it. But they're pausing your payments for 3 months and still giving you access to the software so that you can continue to operate your business and you can design and build your future business. So lots of vendors are doing this. One thing that I've learned, here's like your insider pro tip. One thing that I've learned is that companies can't necessarily coach you what to say, but there are in fact magic words to be getting any kind of relief. And a lot of times those magic words are, get your pen and paper, my income has been impacted by the coronavirus. So customer service people aren't necessarily able to coach you to say that, but a lot of businesses have some kind of relief, some kind of a policy, some kind of something that they can do if you say those magic words. So don't be don't be egocentric or embarrassed to say that. We are all in the same boat here. All of us are having some kind of impact. Some of it is bigger than others. other ways that you can impact your cash flow right now is to look at your accounts receivable. I know it may not necessarily be the kindest and most compassionate time to be reaching out to your clients to follow up on outstanding payments. But as I said, some of us are impacted immediately with, especially in the gig economy, with things being canceled. And some of us and some of your clients may have more of a buffer or more wiggle room, and they may be able to, in fact, support you right now. So don't assume just because your bank accounts are looking lean and you feel nervous and intimidated by your expenses coming up that your clients are going to feel that same way as well. A lot of our clients are loyal, they love us, they want to support us. So look at your accounts receivable and see if there's an opportunity for you to allow your clients to support you. And lastly, I think I would leave you with specifically things about rent. A lot of rent opportunities are coming up. Again, reach out to your landlords, use the magic words, use those as an opening to a conversation. Most of the time, people really understand that all of us need to survive now and thrive in the future for all of us to make it through the current pandemic crisis, well, with our fulfillment, with our finances, and with some of our creative and physical freedoms still intact. So I hope that was helpful for you. If any of you who are listening or watching this have any other suggestions, please share them in the comments below, because this is one of the things that I am loving about these circumstances. There's a lot of negativity, but gang, there's a lot of positives too. A lot of us are supporting each other. We are sharing our resources, sharing our contacts, sharing our networks, and sharing our experiences. I will see you here next week at the Tuesday 2 o'clock Tea and Talk. Thanks so much for watching. My name is Aura McKay. I'm the founder of Business of Creativity, and we are working hard to help you bridge the gap between what's happening right now and where you might be in your future.